Good news is that I'm going on a date tomorrow. Can I show, is it cool if I show you?
Yeah, totally. You should have mine holding it later.
The next morning, I woke up in Brooklyn, so, you know. God, this Christmas morning, I gotta break up with this girl. Not feeling too excited about it. Unfortunately, broke up with her in maybe the worst way possible. I'm gonna tell you about that in a little bit, but first I want to talk about a little bit like why we broke up. So I think we went on our first date 11 days ago on a Sunday, met up for our first date, and we were honestly pretty locked in after that. I spent the first night at our house, and then I think there were like 2 nights in between that day and right now that we didn't spend the night at each other's house. But I think that's kind of a big part of the problem was we spent a lot of time just like doing sleepovers. So I'm a working man and I work a lot. Like I work from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Those aren't crazy hours or nothing, right? But you know, I get home at like 9. I'm trying to like cook dinner and go straight to sleep so that I can get my 9 hours of sleep. I respect my sleep a lot. I think that's one of the most important things in life for being happy and healthy and productive. This really f***ed with that because like, and it's not even her fault. Like we could have hang out during the days because I worked all the time. So, like the only time we can hang out is at night. So if we're hanging out at night, like we're hanging out at night and we're hanging out late, and then we end up falling asleep at like 4 a.m. and then I wake up at like 9 compared to my usual like 7, and it just messed up my whole schedule. And I think when you're considering entering a relationship with someone, one of the most important things that I consider is this person adding or detracting from my life? And just because of the mess of sleep, and I was actually ended up being late for work like multiple times. One time I actually forgot to set my alarm and I was like literally 2 hours late, which is not cool for my line of work, and it really f***ed with me. And that is my responsibility, yes, but that shit wasn't happening when I was not seeing someone. So it's not her fault per se, but maybe just the fact that I was entering some sort of relation. Another big part of it was her substance use. She wasn't no crackhead or nothing. She was just your like run-of-the-mill stoner, which there's nothing wrong with. No hate to the stoners out there. I used to be a stoner myself, but key phrase being used to be a stoner. You know, something that I actually really appreciate about her. First night that we went out, we went back to her place and she was smoking, and you know, initially I was like, nah, I don't smoke. But then I folded. I broke my sobriety of a few months and I was like, hey, let me smoke with you. Dumb. So I smoked with her. The next time I hung out with her, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna smoke. Folded again. And again, this is not on her. Not on her. I asked her, like, you know, that was on me. She didn't push me or nothing. And the second time that I smoked, the next morning, I was like, yo, like, if I ever ask you to smoke again, like, actually just tell me no. Like, as much as I plead and beg, just say no, not allowed. And she stuck by that, and I really appreciate that. It shows that she actually cared and gave a shit, which is quite cool. Like, especially that early on, like, you don't have to care. Like, I could be like, please, but you said no, but please, okay. But she didn't do that, and she stuck to it, and I respect that. I appreciate that. So shout out her for that. Even with that, like, I just can't be around it because it's just so tempting for me. In fact, literally last night, hanging out with some of her and her friends, and one of them left their weed pen on the table, and as soon as everyone left the room, I was like, and I tried to smoke on that thing. Thank God it's out of battery, but like, I just can't be trusted. I'm a literal addict, yo. So I can't. If you're addicted to something, you can't be around the people that do that thing as much as they don't enable you. Third and final reason that I broke up with this girl was I don't know if I was actually that attracted to her. Horrible to say. Why would you keep going out with this girl? Why would you spend the nights with her if you're not attracted to her? A few reasons. I think growing up, I didn't really like have so much luck with the ladies. So I think now when one of them gives me attention, sometimes I'll like them, or I'll like them even if I'm not attracted to them. Stop. I know. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to not do that. I need to not fall for that trap as much, because that just comes from insecurity. But also kind of a people pleaser. Like, don't get me wrong, I wanted to hang out with her too, but there are certain aspects of things that we were doing where I wasn't really as into it as she was, but as a people pleaser, like, I aim to please. You know, I want them to be happy, and that makes me happy in a type of way. I'm not gonna go into too depth on that one, but I'm gonna let you just fill in the blanks, I guess. I want to tell you about the horrible way that I ended up breaking up with her, but first I gotta watch Marty Supreme. Christmas Day drop, you feel? Marty Supreme complete. Shit was fire. Highly recommend. Soundtrack was super good. It was directed by Josh Safdie, who I think directed Uncut Gems and Good Time as well. So if you with movies that give you anxiety the entire time and are like, I don't know, about grifter boys, would recommend. Yo, what's up, guys? We at the Tompkins Square Park Christmas tree. This is my park. This is my favorite park. Because it's right by my house and it's just cool, and I'll talk about that another time, but I needed to do this for the thumbnail, so I'm gonna talk about this last section here about the way that I broke up with this girl, which was her. Here, let me get closer to this tree real quick. I think I can just jump from here to like there. Oh. Okay. In. Yo, real quick, shout out Empire State. Shout out JP Morgan, hidden by the trees. Chrysler Tower over there, also hidden by the trees. So how did it all go down, guys? Well, basically, you know, I was thinking for a little while that I'm gonna break up with this girl. I was really debating it, and we had Christmas plans today, and I didn't want to break up with her on Christmas. You know, that'd be all up. So I was like, we'll do Christmas and then I'll break up with her tomorrow or later tonight or something. And I texted my homeboy, who, you know, I've been talking to about this a little bit. I texted him, I'm like, today's our last day. You know, the morning goes by, it's like 3 p.m. or something. We're at our house and she's like ordering something from DoorDash on my phone, and I leave the room and I come back and I'm like, yo, you get the thing from DoorDash? Oh no, I don't need it anymore. Oh, okay, bet. Your friend texted you, by the way. Okay, you should have told me. Oh, so basically she found out on Christmas via reading my text with someone instead of from me. So I'm basically an asshole. I basically fucking suck. That's on me. Yeah, we talked about it for a bit, and basically she was like, you know, I like you, but I respect myself more. And I was like, respect, bro. So that was that, really. But in other news, there was one other. Also, I do want to say, I think I haven't been the best at, I wasn't the best at communicating. I gotta say, I feel like this whole video kind of made it sound like I didn't like her and she liked me or whatever, but like you know, I had some problems and I just didn't communicate them very well, and I kind of let them boil up, and I've noticed that's a common theme for me, so I need to get better about that. There's some people walking by. I gotta cut the clip here. Okay, the Jolly Friends are gone and I don't have to feel embarrassed about videoing anymore. All this to say, that one was a good ride while it lasted, and might have more coming for you soon. Might have someone on the horizon. Wait. One last thing that I forgot to mention that I was just thinking about right now. A big part of why I was like thinking actively about breaking up with this, you know, I was thinking about New Year's and what I'm gonna do for New Year's, and you know, you realize little New Year's kiss and it's people that you start the new year with, and I was like, do I really want to start this new year with this girl? And I was like, I think I'd rather just hang out with my friend. Also, I was thinking about it and I was like, if she left me right now, would I care? Like, sure, like a little part of me would be like, oh man, but like I wouldn't be like, no, or like, oh, let me get her back. And sure, you might be like, well, you weren't dating for that long, of course you wouldn't be like, no, but like I feel very deeply. I don't want to waste my time with people that I don't feel very deeply for, no matter the amount of time. I want to be swept off my feet type shit. So okay, that's all I had to say.